Hey, how you guys doing? Lex. Yeah, so the IS-7, really awesome, amazing Soviet tank. I really like it. So yeah, to look at it from, I wanted to show you guys in the garage because it has some very positives and it has some really bad negatives. All tanks have them. One of the positives to this, and we're just going to go through the positives. Um, Before we do that, though, I'm going to go ahead and do the armor. So the turret in the front is 240, and then on the sides here, all the way around, 180, was it 85 millimeters, and then in the back it's 94. Now in the front, it's 150 on these front plates, and then on the side it's 150 with spaced armor, which is really good for anti-heat protection, and then it's 100 millimeters in the back, which means this is a very bouncy tank. It can be pinned. It can be pinned. But if you look, there's no hatches. And that is a big plus. In my gameplay footage, we're going to look at that. So one of the another positives to it is it has a 130 millimeter naval cannon, which is very inaccurate. It's 40. It's like .40, which is pretty bad. But I'm going to say we're going to be getting into the negatives now. The negatives are 3.40 on the aim-in. That's the longest time you'll be waiting on any tier 10 in the game. I'm going to tell you that the way you're supposed to use this tank is you're supposed to get right up on people. You use its speed to get there and get close to them and hit them. It's so low profile, it's very hard to shoot this tank when it's right up on you. It's also got real good angle armor. So, you know, here's probably the worst thing about this tank I'm just going to tell you right now, and that is, let me zoom in here. If you look where this headlight is, right to the right, if you give somebody a 60-degree angle, which I'm going to tell you, you're going to run into that situation all the time. If they shoot right there where that green area is, anywhere along there, they have a 50% chance of ammo racking you. And I've done it to this tank before with the Patton. I did a video on it, my Patton video. I actually go by an IS-8 and do it to him. But it's the same weak point. I don't know why they would ever put ammo there. So if you're going to use this, you're definitely going to want to get, you know, what is it, safe storage. And if you keep getting ammo racked, you know, I would recommend getting, you know, trading out one of your equipment and using, you know, wet ammo rack, because it'll, you know, add 50%, you know, durability. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, you're going to see here that this thing's damn near impervious if you can get it hull down. If you guys don't know what hull down is, that means if you have your hull below or covered where they can't shoot it, they're not going to pin you. So this thing's a brilliant side scraper. I might cover that in another video, but anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay footage. Alright, so Al-Halaf. Yeah, so the writing on the side of this tank, I put it in Russian and it says snow leopard. I don't know how 4 letters can be snow leopard, but that's what it says it means. But I think it's cool. I like the big letters. So here we are, and you know, you're going to see a little bit of all the assets on here, and then of course you're going to see some of the defects. So what we're basically talking about here is that this is a great tank. When you're moving, it's good. You know, you just have to be careful of that front plate. You know, you don't want to go, if you have to go head to head with somebody, you're going to want to get right up on them. Meaning you want to get close. I mean, we're talking close, where they can't shoot you. And you'll see here, I'm going to show you some stuff with here, like, you know, me going hull down, me side scraping here. And of course, here's the speed. So we're going downhill, and you can see that I'm hitting, you know, decent speeds, passing up everybody else. Didn't have to remove the governor or anything. 2150 hit points with no hatch. Now, this is a good match because there's no artillery. Now, I'm going to tell you, if this was an artillery match, I would probably play this game a little bit different. This corner up here is like a death trap. Basically, I'd probably go with that T-57 heavy is, which is a tank I'm working on. So, yeah, you know, in comparison, what is it? All hatches on the VK line are weak points. You know, it's the same with the M103. This is one of the only tanks where they can't shoot you. And I'm going to show you here, like, I've known about this spot for a long time, but I would never dare to do it. Now you can see that the Lorraine pinned me at a weird angle, but that has a really high penetrating gun. So French tanks, you want to be careful not to give them, you know, a 60-degree angle on that front. Now here's a Death Star, and you can see here, I should be backing up. You know, I really should. I should be backing up. He has a 17-second reload. Well, it could be about, it's about 30. I think it's about half a minute. You know, but he has a possible 1100 damage. So you're going to see here, I'm seeing this guy, and then here's the Death Star, and you'll see he's looking to shoot me, and he can't find anywhere that's not yellow. So he knows if he shoots, he's going to bounce. And unfortunately, that's the end of that guy's game. I'm not going to let him move again. If he had a repair kit and he used it, he probably could have fixed it, but I'm assuming he probably used it on something else. And you're going to see me and this guy behind me. You know, I'm basically extra armor. And you'll see here that nobody is going to pin me. They've already pinned me twice, and it was mainly in the front plate. And you're going to see the inaccuracy as well, which is you want to wait until it's aimed in all the way. Once you're sitting still and you're in a good place, you can let the reticle, you know, shrink in, and you can get that good accuracy. And you'll see here, it's got good enough pin to pin an E50, and that's pretty good, because that's a pretty sturdy turret right there. And you'll see here, you know, there's a, I think it's a Tiger II and an E75 back there. But I'm just going to tell you, this game's over. There's nothing they can do. They can't pin me. Now, if artillery was here, you could probably, you know, constantly track me and even kill me eventually. But you'll see here that Lorraine that got me. It says Lore, but it's actually called Lorraine, I think. This is the way it's pronounced. And you'll see here, hatch. Now, I missed him on the hatch, unfortunately, on that Tiger. So, yeah, haul down. You can get a really good shot there. Every time they're shooting, they're just going to bounce. And that's it. That's one of the great things about this tank. I really like it. It'll do the same on the sides as well. Meaning, like, if they shoot at my side, it's just going to bounce. Unless I give them, like, a 90-degree angle. You'll see here he's aiming for somewhere. He's like, where is it red? And he was actually aiming for a false red. There's some guns on the side of this that give you false reds, and they always think, you know, why, you know, it's red, how come it's not pinning? It's because it's a fake hit marker. So there you go, 477. I've noticed on average this thing does at least 450, and the American tank sometimes only does like 330. And that's, you know, it's a Russian gun. You know, it's a 30 millimeter, which is 10 millimeters bigger than the American tank. And you can see here there's a T30 back there, and I'm not too worried about the T30. I know he can do up to about 800 with one shot, but when you're moving, you're probably not going to. So he's hanging back. I can see these guys are going in for the kill. The IS-3 is a little hesitant, which I don't blame him. So I'm gonna go over here, and you'll see here I'm gonna use that speed. And I fire and bounce him for some reason. I must have just got a weird angle. Maybe it hit his turret. And you can see I'm using that speed to get right up on him. Somebody else hits him. He's probably still reloading. And you'll see here I'm going to hit him while moving in it, while aimed in. Which is what I'd recommend doing. You know, don't hip fire unless you're right up on him. I waited until I knew I was going to hit him. Now you'll see here, you know, I'm used to American tanks where you can actually let the reticle get about halfway and then fire, and it's cool. So I'm still kind of, you know, still waiting. Which I'm going to increase the accuracy with a couple perks, but that's pretty much a wraps for this. And I you know, I have some other game footage I was going to do, but I got killed right at the end of the match, but I still got a lot. On average, I'm doing about, you know, 1,500 to 2,000. You know, damage per game. You know, I'm not necessarily getting the kills every game, but I definitely have a lot of survivability, which is pretty cool. It just sucks when you can't go hull down. When you can't go hull down, you're just kind of out there, and people are going to pin you. So, yeah, 10 enemy penetration or damages, couple ops. And you can see I'm top of the board, even above the guy that was behind me. And you can see here, 2 shots for 800, 2 shots for 11. You know, was that 890, the 560, 64, and then here's the other match. You can see I got 5400, which is cool. You know, I mean, you know, on average, I mean, I've just been playing this tank over and over. I definitely want to get some marks on it, but if you guys are interested in any more stuff on this, any more details, if you guys want to know some other strategies you can use with this tank, you can put it in the comments. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment, like, and subscribe, and have a good one. Later.